So I'm sure you've noticed, unless you've been hiding under a rock for the last 12 months, that the prices for everything pretty much have increased. Food, clothes, toys, mortgage rates, car loan rates, and everything in between have pretty much shot out of the roof. So why haven't freight rates followed? And if freight rates are so low, why aren't we seeing that reflected at the shelves? Why are we paying so much at the stores? These questions we'll talk about today on this video. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and let's get down into the business. I think many Americans underestimate the true impact of COVID-19, the lockdowns, for almost a 3-month period of time, total in some areas, partial in others, had a devastating and unprecedented impact on America's supply chain system. And not just America's supply chain system, the world's supply chain system. And because America had not dealt with a pandemic of this magnitude in over 100 years, I think there was an over-response. And we just started printing money, giving it away to everybody. The Federal Reserve increased its balance sheet more than double from the start of the pandemic to 2022, from $4 trillion to $9 trillion. This caused some serious monetary issues and fueled inflation. And this unparalleled, never seen before artificial stimulation, coupled with the fact that people now have a whole lot of extra money and they've been on lockdown for a period of over 90 days, created what we call pent-up demand, excessive pent-up demand. America's economy is driven by supply and demand. The greater demand you have for the supply, the higher the prices increase for those supplies. Well, the trucking industry works the same way. When you have more demand for the supply of trucks, the supply of trucks increase in price. And for those of you who are asking the question, why haven't freight rates increased? They did. You just have to press the rewind button and go back in time a little bit. Let's check out the time period right after the pandemic up until November 2021, and you'll notice that freight rates increased to historic levels. Now, why did they increase? Well, primarily due to demand outstripping supply. Now that the panic of the pandemic, at least here in America, has stopped, we've noticed some big corrections in freight rates. Let me read you what a recent CNBC article said. This article is titled, "Shipping Rates Are Still Falling and Another Sign That a Global Recession May Be Coming." It says that freight rates have continued to fall as global trade volumes slow as a result of shrinking demand for goods. Shrinking demand now for those goods. It says freight rates have also fallen due to the easing in supply chain disruptions. So the supply chain has gotten better. The easing in supply chain disruptions that were built up over the pandemic. A lot of the slowdown, container and vessel demand, was due to weaker cargo movement. Now that gives us a pretty good indication as to why rates have been decreased. Supply chain disruptions have gotten a lot better. Demand has gotten weaker. So of course the next question is, when should we expect rates to go back up? Now I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really do. I hate giving you bad news, but I gotta give it to you just like it is. And here's what it's saying about freight rates and where they may be going. It says much reduced port congestion level, along with weaker cargo arrivals, was one of the major reasons behind significant decrease in freight rates. And oh, by the way, guess what they just said after that? Based on expectations of weaker trade volume, we do not expect extremely high congestion again in the coming quarters. So that tells me that we shouldn't expect rates to start going back up in the coming quarters. What do you think? Now it's time to address the big pink elephant standing right slap dab in the middle of our living rooms, defecating all over the place. If rates are so low, and rates have an impact on shelf prices, now that the rates are low, why aren't we seeing shelf prices go down? Why aren't we able to get things for cheaper prices? Because I remember a time where I was paying $13 for a bag of chicken wings of about 20 to 25, and now that same bag of chicken wings cost over $20. So when is that price starting to go down? Well, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to go down. So for some reason, when prices go up, they just don't seem to go down, especially when it comes to food. Maybe in fuel and things like that, but I don't see that happening with food. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. So what lesson did you learn from the story that we shared about rates today? With anything that happens, any experience that takes place, I think it's important that we learn a lesson from that experience. And as it pertains to rates, to me, the lesson is rates go up and rates come down. It's just like the stock market. The stock market goes up, but it doesn't continue to go up. It has to come back down sometimes. Sometimes it goes down 50%, 30%, like we are right now. But it eventually corrects and starts to get headed back in the right direction. That's just the nature of the business that we've chosen. It happens that way. So be ready to handle the good with the bad. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and I titled it How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you an opportunity to come into the office with me, and you can watch me on video as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers to give you a better understanding of how this business works before you decide to come into it. And then if you're interested in learning more about how we go out and secure our customers, find those shippers that we work with, the hard part, I'll share it with you right here in a free video. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. As always, see you at the very top because the bottom is much too crowded.